Well, hi everyone and welcome back to Adam's Fishing. It's been actually just over a month since I last hit the bank. That's way too long. I've had a couple of DIY projects ongoing at home which have taken up pretty much all of my spare time over the last month. This is the first opportunity I've really had to get out, and unfortunately it's only a short session. I've just got a few hours in the evening. It's a Tuesday evening. I'm down on the bigger lake on my club ticket, and I'm hoping that I might be able to sneak out a carp. My confidence isn't massively high, probably because I'm so out of practice at the moment. But also I don't seem to have really been clicking just lately with the fishing. My casting's a bit off, and I guess I'm just a little bit rusty, and if I could fish more frequently, that would probably help to hone those skills and give me that little bit more confidence. But you know, one day I'll have a bit more time on my hands maybe, and I can dedicate a little bit more time to it. But we'll see. For now, it's just a short session. I can fish until darkness, and I can fish into darkness, but I don't want to be out here too late because I've got work early in the morning, and I'm going to be absolutely shattered if I'm out here till midnight or something like that. So I'll see how it goes, and see what's going on, if there's any signs of fish in the area. There were one or two fish just cruising in the pads as I arrived here. My swim is conveniently right next to the car park, so I was able just to lug my gear down into this little dugout swim here, and I'll show you in a sec where I've actually set up and where I'm actually fishing. I haven't done too much filming because time is obviously of the essence, but now that I've got baits in the water, I'll show you what the plan is, and then I'm just going to catapult out a little bit of bait to try and entice any fish that I've spooked off temporarily back into the area. Unfortunately, I probably had more casts than I should have done to start with, trying to find where I was going to present my rigs, but hey ho, I've done it now. Great to be out on the bank though, after such a long wait. So I'm really chuffed to be here, and actually as of this moment in time, believe it or not, I've got the whole lake to myself. Now I know the pubs have only just reopened, but that is nuts. So, oh, fish just rolled off to my right hand side, not exactly where I'm fishing, probably 2 swims down, but still, that's heartening to see. Yeah, even though the pubs have opened, I still expected anglers to be on the bank, and there aren't at the moment. But then I think quite a few people on my club do after work sessions, so I'm expecting a few to turn up as the evening wears on. It's only 6 o'clock PM now. I've been faffing around for about 45-50 minutes getting everything sorted and rods in position. But hopefully now I can start to relax and really enjoy the lake that, as of this moment in time, is all mine. Well guys, there's the swim behind me. Hopefully you can see that okay. There's quite a lot of glare on the lake at the moment. You wouldn't believe it, but we've actually had some pretty heavy passing showers today. That's why I got the brolly up quite early in this session. But at the moment it's dry, so fingers crossed it stays that way. My left-hand rod is fishing one of my classic snowman rigs with a little mesh bag, passed down the hook link, just masking the hook point for the cast. That's fished way out beyond the halfway mark across towards the far bank into a clear area where there's some deeper water. I have had some fish out of there in the past, so I know it can be a good spot, and I've whizzed that bait out there. It's probably the furthest you'll ever see me cast. I'm not really much of a caster, but I got it out there and hopefully it will do something. My only concern with that one is there's a couple of swims over there. They're a bit overgrown and they're not really fished very often at all. But if somebody turns up and does decide that they want to fish there, then I'm kind of into their zone, so I ought to reel in and reposition that one. But I'll cross that bridge if I come to it. The right-hand rod is fished off slightly to my right-hand side, closer to my bank. Well guys, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. My right hand rod is fished closer to me and off to my right hand side off the edge of some lilies where I've also had a few fish in the past as well. I just had a weird sort of bite. I picked up the rod way too quickly, so excited, probably because I haven't been fishing for so long. I was just like on the edge of my seat for that bite really, and I picked up the rod way too soon. I should have waited and seen what happened. I think it was possibly a liner rather than an actual take. You know, a fish catching the line on its fin and then swimming onwards. You know, a really positive registration, as you maybe heard there, but I'm not sure it was ever really a bite. I'm going to redo that rod though, get it back into position because there's obviously fish out there. Whether they're carp or not, I don't know yet, but hey, let's hope I can find out. Well, it really was pretty exciting to have an occurrence on that right-hand rod so soon. I'm not convinced it was a proper bite. I definitely shouldn't have picked the rod up. But hey, I'm going to sit on my hands next time. The rig is back in position in that solid PVA bag, and you never know, I might just get another chance at that one. In the meantime, I've got some old squid and krill boilies here that were glugging for 24 to 48 hours into a real broth of stinky fishiness, and I had them left over from a session, so they've been in the freezer and they've now defrosted, and that's going to be my free offerings for today. So I'm going to catapult a few of these out now. Don't want to go mad, but I'm sure the fish are up for a bit of a feed this time of year, so I want to give them something to lure them in. Just seen another fish roll off to my right hand side. If I see any more of those, I might have to move swims. So another reason not to invest loads of bait here. Still, a couple of pouches, let's get it done. Well guys, it's now 7 o'clock and I have had one or two more liners on both rods actually. Nothing that's materialised into a bite, and now I've got a bit of a strong wind pushing across the lake, which is just putting a bow in the line, and it's causing a few more bleeps to happen. I don't think it's fish, I think it's just the wind hitting the line, to be honest. So in any case, the sound of those alarms has my nerves on the ragged edge. So cup of tea, try and calm myself down, try and take stock of the situation and work out what I need to do. Maybe all I need to do is sit on my hands and wait, and have a little bit of faith that bite will come along. I don't know. The liners that I have had have been quite gentle ups and down on the bobbin, nothing too savage, so I don't think anything was an aborted take or anything like that. So at the moment I'm happy to leave both rigs in position and just wait and see. That bleep was a wind. You may be able to hear it started raining, and I've made a slight change. I've just raised the back end of the rods to dip the tips lower to the water to try and counteract some of the wind creating false alarms for me. Unfortunately, the local bird life has found the bait that I've put out there, and they're taking a great interest in it, which is probably hampering my chances at the moment a bit. But I'm going to persevere. It's quite nice to be sat here under the brolly just watching the weather unfold out there, to be honest. So I'm going to have another cup of tea and just chill. I've just had a little recast to freshen things up. It's going to be getting dark soon, and I wanted everything to be set just so ready for the evening ahead. Unfortunately, I've spotted a bit of a problem. That's the first rig that I brought in, the solid PVA bag. That's the second one that I brought in. Can you spot what's missing? The bottom bait is missing on both rigs, and thinking about it, I tied up a load of these in advance of this session, actually a couple of weeks ago, and I do recall that when I was dropping the rigs into the solid bags, I did notice that the bottom bait, the squid and krill bottom bait, was starting to crack a little bit. They were fresh out of a bag, and they were particularly soft and perhaps a little bit damp, and I've got this feeling that dropping them into that sort of really dry powdery mix inside those PVA bags has just sucked all the moisture out of them so quickly that they've just split and fallen off of my hair rig. I'm afraid that when I reel this next one in, it's going to be exactly the same, which means that all of those bags that I tied up are next to useless, really. I mean, I suppose what you've got is a very short zig with a pop-up sort of 5 or 6 inches off of the deck. Hey, it could catch a fish, but it's not what I was going for. So I think at some point over the weekend I'm going to be redoing those solid PVA bags, maybe investing in some of those hard hooker hook baits, just so that I know that this isn't going to happen to me again, because I feel like I'm probably wasting a bit of time with that solid PVA bag at the moment. I don't want to reel it in though, because there's just that chance that it could go ripping off. The ducks and the tufties and the whatever else is out there are still milling around my swim. I should never have catapulted any bait in. I really don't feel like I've fished very well this session, to be honest. This, just one example of many. Out of practice. Still, you have got to be in it to win it. And if I didn't come out and have a go, I wouldn't be getting any practice at all. So I'm glad I'm here anyway. I just hope I can turn it around, because at the moment I'm not feeling that confident. Well guys, it has to be said that I've not been fishing at my best today, out of practice, but just before 10 p.m. The right hand rod, which is the solid PVA bag, roared off. I was sure I was connected to a carp, but as the fight wore on, I realised that I wasn't. But this lovely looking tench was on the end. Not a monster, but nice to catch one all the same. I'm really pleased with that actually. Just to catch anything on this session is a result, to be honest. And this fish was absolutely nailed in the bottom lip, which kind of spurs me on and makes me think that I'm doing at least something right. Sure, it's not a carp, but I think if I persevere a bit longer, I might just be able to get one out. Really good to have got a bend in the rod and to have a fish on the mat anyway. I'm going to slip this beauty back and see if I can't replace it with a carp. Fantastic. Well guys, that's it for me on this short session. I really need to start getting packed up. It's just coming up to 11 o'clock and I really should be at home in bed. I've not exactly been on my A game on this session. My casting was all over the place. My baits were falling off my rigs. I rang the dinner bell for a bunch of ducks and diving birds. And despite all of this, I still managed to wangle a fish out. Sure, it wasn't a carp, it was a little tench, but great to catch something, and it saved the blank. I really do think that if I'd fished better today, I might just have snagged a carp, because there were carp in the area. I saw a few roll, and I was kind of in the right zone. I think I just don't think I was doing it right. But hey, you have days like that, and you come back better, and hopefully learn from your mistakes and fish better next time. That's my plan anyway. So before I sign off for this video completely though, I'm just going to go back about a month ago, just over. I had a short overnight session. It was a short overnight session as well. It started quite late in the afternoon and I was off the lake by 7 a.m. The next morning on one of the more prolific waters on my club ticket, where I was lucky enough to snag a couple of carp, more than a couple actually, but there was a couple in particular that I just had to share with you. Despite the fact I'd said to myself I wasn't going to be doing any filming on that session, I couldn't resist doing a little bit of film just to show you the couple of fish in the early hours of the morning that I did catch. So what I'm going to do is take you back in time, show you those couple of fish. Disclaimer, they weren't caught on this session, as you can probably tell because it's light in the video. Just about to start hacking it down here. Have a look at this, see a couple of carp that I did manage to catch, and hopefully next time I'm on the bank I'll be fishing a lot better, a lot sharper, and I might just be able to wangle a bigger carp out. Good morning everyone. Well, let me explain what's going on. I came fishing yesterday and I've been fishing all night, but for the first time in a very long time I haven't done any filming. I just wanted it to be a really nice chilled out one, didn't want to be worrying about the camera and camera angles and all of that kind of thing, and I thought to myself I'm not going to do any filming this time. However, in the very early hours of this morning, just before sunup, I've caught a couple of fish and I could not resist sharing them with you. So I don't know where this little piece of footage will feature in my uploads to YouTube, but I really want to show you a couple of fish that I've caught anyway. There's one down there in the net and there's one over there in the retainer, ready for me to do a photograph and show you on the video a couple of fish that I've caught. I've actually caught 6 fish over the course of this session, most of them in the hours of complete darkness, but these two I'll be able to show to you with a little bit of morning light on them. So I'm going to get these out and hold them up for you. Okay guys, well here's the first one that I wanted to show you. This one came just before I started filming. What an absolute beauty. I really wanted to share this one with you just for its awesome scale pattern. What a beautiful looking little carp. Probably only about 6 or 7 pounds, but a really pretty fish. Well worth a photograph, I say. Absolutely brilliant. Let me show the other side of this one. And the other side just as pretty as the first. What a beautiful little fish. Really, really pleased with that. But I've got a bigger one to show you. So I'm going to slip this one back and show you fish number 2. Absolute magic. Well guys, here he is in all his glory. Just over 13 pounds of muscle-bound mirror carp. An absolute pleasure to catch this one, a real treat. Beauty, so pleased I was able to catch it, and so pleased I'm able to share it with you. What a magical creature, absolutely awesome. Dark grey along the top, creamy coloured along the bottom. Some nice sort of orangey highlights. Let me turn this one around for you. And there he is. Heck of a fish. Really, really chuffed to have caught it. Right, I think I've kept him out for long enough. I'm going to slip him back and hopefully I'll see you again really soon. Absolutely magic. If you've joined me for the whole video, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again really soon. Cheers.